Winning an argument feels good in the moment, but the satisfaction is short-lived. The resentment it creates lasts much longer. When you argue, you don't just challenge an idea. You challenge a person's identity, intelligence, and self-image. Even if they appear to agree with you, something else happens internally. They resist, they remember, and they wait. Real power doesn't come from convincing people with words. It comes from showing them without saying much at all. Consider a product manager named Kareem. During meetings, Kareem loved to debate. He corrected colleagues publicly. He explained why his approach was superior. He often won the argument. But over time, people stopped bringing him into important discussions. They nodded politely and ignored his suggestions later. No one felt inspired to support him. He had proven his intelligence, but he had lost influence. Now contrast this with Noor, another manager on the same team. When disagreements came up, Noor rarely argued. She listened. She asked a few questions, and then she let the meeting move on. Instead of debating, she focused on execution. Weeks later, when results came in, her approach spoke for itself. Deadlines were met. Problems were avoided. Performance improved. No argument was necessary. People changed their minds quietly, without feeling defeated. In another case, a senior engineer worked under a new director who insisted on a risky shortcut. The engineer knew the shortcut would fail. Instead of arguing, he built a small prototype following the director's idea. He let it run under real conditions. It failed exactly as predicted. The director never mentioned the debate again. The alternative solution was approved immediately. No ego was bruised. No authority was challenged. The lesson is simple. People accept conclusions they arrive at themselves. Arguments force resistance. Demonstrations invite understanding. This applies far beyond work. Online, arguments are constant. People defend opinions, post long explanations, and fight strangers. But no one actually changes their mind. Meanwhile, those who act, who build, publish, execute, and succeed, never need to explain themselves. Their results speak. Actions bypass defensiveness. Words trigger it. This is because words are slippery. They can be misinterpreted, remembered selectively, or used against you later. Actions are concrete. They are harder to deny. When someone sees the outcome with their own eyes, there is nothing left to argue about. But this law requires emotional control. When someone challenges you, the instinct is to respond immediately, to prove them wrong, to protect your image. Resist that impulse. The moment you argue, you step onto their terrain. Instead, let time, consequences, and reality do the work. That said, there is an important exception. Arguments can be useful, not to convince, but to distract. In high-pressure situations, excessive talking can create confusion. When caught in a weak position, some people argue loudly, emotionally, and confidently. The argument becomes a smokescreen. Attention shifts from facts to noise, from outcomes to emotions. This tactic is risky, but it works because people equate certainty with truth. Still, this is not a strategy for building power, only for escaping danger. Those who rely on argument long-term reveal insecurity. Those who rely on action build authority. The most effective persuasion often goes beyond action into symbol. A quiet decision, a visible result, a calm refusal. No explanation needed. If the issue does not matter in the long run, let it go. Time will correct it. Save your energy. Choose your battles. Because every argument you win creates an enemy. Every action you demonstrate creates belief. In the end, power belongs to those who do not explain themselves. They demonstrate, and the world adjusts.